Thanks for joining us for another Kickstarter conniption. Today we're looking at Lots Filled In from Royal N Games.
And as always, we want to make sure you're aware that our Kickstarter overview videos are sponsored in part by our Kickstarter backers, as well as by the creators of this game. Hey gang, and thanks for joining us at Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sara Meadows, and today we're looking at Lots Filled In. This is a new game in the Lots family that was originally funded on Kickstarter a couple years ago from Royal N Games. In this new roll and write game, you will be constructing a building using dice, and this is from designers Zach Connolly and Rose Connolly. Artwork is from Claire Donaldson and Christina Pitry.
This is for 2 to 4 players. It takes about 20 minutes to play. We were given this handy dandy prototype copy, so let's take a look at how it's played.
To set up the game, give each player a worksheet, place the colored pencils within reach of all the players, and then hand the dice to the start player of your choice.
Each turn of the game will consist of the start player rolling all of the dice and selecting one. Then in clockwise order, each player will select. The last player will select a second die, and then in reverse order, the remaining players will select a second die as well.
After this snake draft, players will then begin to color in spaces on their sheet based on their chosen dice.
Players must use the shape of one of their die, but they will color it in using the color from their other die.
So for this example, this player would have to draw a green L-shaped block or a blue square.
All players fill in the spaces on their sheet using similar rules from Tetris, starting at the bottom and working their way up, connecting blocks to their construction.
Filled-in rows will score players points based on the different number of colors in the row, and a bonus is added if that player is the first to do so.
As soon as one player is not able to fill in their space into their construction, the game is over. Bonuses are awarded, and the player with the most points wins. In Lots, the original game, players were actually using colored blocks to build up a physical construction, trying not to knock it over. In this game, players will be using dice to draw in shapes on their board, doing the same thing, trying to fill it in just as neatly as they can in order to score big points.
Yeah, there are several different ways to score points in the game. You can do so by filling in the tools that are the bonuses. So every page will have a numbered space, and that is colored in a certain color. So if you can get a block that specific color filled in on that space, you'll gain that many points. So the 2 space will be 2 points, the 4 space will be 4 points if you can get it the correct color. There is also a bonus for filling in an entire row going horizontally, and you get 1 point for every different color in that row. And if you're the first one, you get a bonus point as well.
Now, you can't actually get negative points in the game. There are some purple blocks that are individual spaces that you can choose to use on your turn. There's a space along the top of the board that you fill in to note that you've taken a block, you've used it to fill in a space. Those negative penalties get higher as you go through the course of the game, but they may allow you to finish out a row and score those points, and so balancing out whether or not to use those is a decision you'll have to make in the game.
That crane is a different color from the dice, so it's a purple block it's a single square that may allow you to finish something that you might not otherwise be able to, and sometimes that negative penalty for using the crane is worth it, but not always.
There's also a purple question mark that appears on the die. We didn't really explain that. When you roll the dice, if you choose the purple die, it gives you the opportunity to choose either a shape or a color that corresponds or works with the other die you've drawn. So if you had a square and a question mark, you could make that square any color that you want to, or you could be any shape, but you would have to make it the color of the square.
Yeah. The end game bonuses also include the different colors, and the way that those are scored is you will count up the number of connected red area, all the squares in that area. Whoever has the largest red area will gain 3 bonus points, and you'll go through all 4 or 5 of the colors in the game and award an extra 3 points. There are also some worker cards that you can give everyone at the beginning of the game game that gives everyone an individual power for the game. Some of them include things that are end game bonuses. Some of them are an ability that you can use throughout the game, and some of them are just one-time use.
Because this follows generally the rules of Tetris, where you have to have the blocks coming down and you have to space them accordingly, it does make for an easy teach, which is always nice. If it looks like the type of game that you'd be interested in, you can check it out on Kickstarter right now, and I'm sure they'll have some bundle packages where you can get the original Lots game as well, and they may even have some upgrades and stretch goals on Kickstarter, so check it out if you're interested in that. And then, as always, thanks so much for tuning in to our videos here at Tantrum Mouse.
Stretching for kick goals.
Stretching for the kick goals. You gotta stretch your legs if you're gonna do the kick goals. Everybody knows that.